I have been using the vivo X200 Ultra for some months now, and one comment that I frequently read was, why didn't you take the X100 Ultra, or why didn't you wait for the X200 Ultra? Well, I have been waiting, and the vivo X200 Ultra is finally here. Let's unpack it together, and then I will give to you a short camera comparison between the X200 Pro and the X200 Ultra. So let's open it up now. We have direct the phone here. Let's get it out here. That camera bump is massive, bigger than the already big camera bump of the vivo X200 Pro. So let's check what else we have here in the box. I have the red version, so get a red case. Get a little startup guide. Got USB-A to USB-C, some ejector pin, and a power brick. And since I have ordered it from Trading Shenzhen, they provided me also with an adapter, but I am anyway not using this power brick. I have my own stuff. But now to the main character of this full game, the phone. Open here. That went perfect. So let's get out the phone now, before I will get anything else the wrong way. So a screen protector is installed here on the phone, and there we have it, the massive camera bump. Just a quick comparison. X200 Pro in the blue color, which honestly has a more beautiful design to me. Looks very beautiful, but the red one is also not bad here. But anyway, I want to talk about the camera bump. There you have it. I will take both phones outside with me now. I will test the cameras, and then I will say goodbye to my vivo X200 Pro, since I will be keeping the X200 Ultra for now, the phone in the case. And let's go. At first glimpse, there might not be a big visible difference, except for maybe the sky, which has a stronger blue tone on the Pro. But if we zoom in a bit, we can see that the Ultra is more detailed thanks to its new ultra-wide lens. Unlike the wider lenses on most phones, the vivo X200 Ultra's new main lens comes in at 35mm. I took a shot at this lens with the Pro model as well, even though 23mm is the normal main lens on it. The Ultra model has a more detailed shot again. Zooming in further, we now use the 85mm option, which is 3.7x on the Pro and 2.5x on the Ultra. The Ultra has a warmer tone here. Otherwise, the shots are quite close. Next up, it's a 10x of the Pro versus the Ultra's 6.7x, and in my opinion, the Pro has a better shot here. At 100x versus 70x, we can't really call a clear winner, but the Ultra is again warmer. And by the way, both are using the default vivid mode. The Ultra remains warmer in tone, as seen on the set. Besides that, they are really close. Here you can see the Pro at 23mm in action, which is its default main lens length. The Ultra is zoomed in quite a lot more by comparison, but this time the Pro's colors look warmer. Now, with the Pro also at 35mm, these shots are hard to tell apart. We can practically say the same at 85mm, and while that might sound repetitive, it's the same story at 330mm, which is 10x for the Pro and most other phones and 6.7x on the X200 Ultra. 460mm is the next stop, and the colors are a bit more lush on the Ultra. 1148mm equals 33.4x on the Ultra and 50x on the Pro. Both shots are good for that level of zoom, but the AI is sharpening more on the Ultra. At the highest zoom levels of 70x and 100x, the Ultra again has a sharper shot, but the text gets distorted by the AI. On this ultra-wide shot, the Ultra's colors are more saturated overall. I've put both main lenses directly against each other again here to show you the difference. Quality wise, both are great though. The 85mm shots are again really close here, but the 330mm shot looks better from the Ultra, being a bit more detailed overall. Let's look at portraits. Starting with the main lenses, we can see that the Ultra's lens is right off the bat better suited for it, creating a more natural bokeh. Using the Pro at 35mm as well, both do a good job, with the Ultra being a bit more intense with its colors. They stay more vivid as we move to 50mm. The Pro was a bit sharper overall though, which is especially visible on the face. We get great shots at 85mm, but the Ultra looks just a bit more natural to me. It's pretty much the same at 135mm. Both take really great portraits.
I'm now shooting 4K 30 frames per second using both front-facing cameras. The colors look a little bit warmer on the X200 Ultra. My skin, for example, and also the building looks a little bit more realistic actually on the X200 Pro. So the colors are a tiny bit off on the 200 Ultra. Sometimes take off the glasses. So the bricks are actually a darker tone. So it's not far off actually, but the X200 Pro seems to be a little bit closer. Otherwise, there's not that huge a difference between both. The X200 Ultra has a wider field of view. As we can see here. So also not by a huge margin, but a bit more on the X200 Ultra here. Now I'm shooting in 4K with 30 frames per second, and I'm on the ultra wide lens. So judging by this, the ultra wide lens of the X200 Pro seems to be a bit wider. Let's walk a bit here. We also have vocal enhancement, which are now activated. So this is the X200 Ultra with vocal enhancement, and this is the X200 Ultra without vocal enhancement. Let's do the same on the X200 Pro. This is the X200 Pro with vocal enhancement, and this is the X200 Pro without vocal enhancement. While we're here, let's one time check how good they can zoom while filming. Let's start with the 200 Pro. We're on the ultra wide. 1x, 2x, 3.7x, 10x, and 20x total. The ultra wide 1x, 3.7, 10x, 10x, and also 20x here. Now this is portrait video. I have the same aperture of f2.0 on both here. Of course, this is the cinematic video mode, which you might know from the iPhone. The Samsung phones also have this portrait video. It is a mode where we can have this background blur known from the portrait photos. And unfortunately, both can only shoot in 1080p with the front-facing cameras while using this mode. The X200 Ultra has a different style here on board. Let me want to activate it. Is size cinematic, so it's like a different filter, you can say, for more cinematic colors. And what we have seen before while using the front-facing camera. Of course, also here it applies that the field of view is a bit wider on the X200 Ultra, which is always good for vlogging in my eyes. Now I'm using the portrait video mode on both phones. I'm on 0.4x on the X200 Ultra and 1x on the X200 Pro. Unfortunately, we can't switch the lenses after the recording started, so one time I will go on 1x on the Ultra as well. So this is now 1x on the Ultra. We can see this is much further zoomed in. And the bokeh is also maybe a tiny bit stronger, but not much actually. Let's see what else we got here on the X200 Pro. So this is not 2x on the X200 Pro. It is now closer to the 1x of the Ultra, but still a little bit further zoomed in. Let me one time check the next step on the Ultra. This would be 2.5x, and this is now much further in again, but the bokeh effect and everything looks really nice. Let's one time check the last option of the 200 Pro, which is 3.7x, and it is now actually quite close between them here. Go some steps back. Due to the nature of the lenses, it is a problem to align them properly, but also what is visible that the X200 Ultra is doing a much better job with the exposure of my son's face here. It looks too dark on the 200 Pro.
Let's look at a few night shots now. The Ultra easily takes a better ultra-wide shot. I used 23mm on both here, which favors the Pro. The Ultra's 48mm shot is much better again, while the 85mm shot is good from both. Zooming in further gives us two good shots again, but the Ultra is a bit more detailed overall. Unfortunately, some of my night shots were corrupted, so I only have a limited number. This ultra-wide shot looks vastly different when it comes to the colors. They are much warmer on the Pro, but the Ultra is taking the much more detailed shot. The main lenses are close again, while at 85mm it's too close to call. Time for night portraits. The first shot is again with both main lenses, and my skin color is a bit more accurate coming from the Ultra. Now using 35mm on the Pro as well, there really isn't anything to clearly tell them apart, except for perhaps the stronger bokeh on the Ultra, even though both are on the same setting. At 50mm, most of this holds true, but the Ultra is also a bit more detailed in my face.
Now I'm shooting in 4K, 30 frames per second. I'm on the ultra-wide lens of both phones, and the X200 Ultra looks way better. Quality is much better here. We have more clarity, more details. Let's one time zoom in here. Let's start with the 200 Pro, ultra-wide, 1x, 2x, 3.7x, 10x, 20x. Back to the ultra-wide, and here we have ultra-wide, 35mm, 1x, 3x, 10x, and 460mm. Now I'm shooting in 4K, 30 frames per second using the front-facing cameras. And the X200 Pro is actually a bit brighter here. Not just a bit, actually it looks way brighter, to be honest. I think the X200 Ultra is more accurate maybe when it comes to brightness. Quality wise I can't really say which looks better. Now I'm standing under a light pole. But the X200 Pro is definitely brighter. And now I'm shooting in 4K with 60 frames per second. I'm again on the ultra-wide lenses here. Now let's go to the main lens of both, which is 23mm on the 200 Pro and 35mm on the Vivo X200 Ultra, which also means that the picture is further zoomed in comparison. Through the main lenses, the quality seems to be close from the preview here. Let's once flip around the phones. So with a 35mm, you're of course closer also when it comes to using the phone like this. If you try to vlog with the best quality, this is what you can expect. So that's it, the Vivo X200 Pro versus X200 Ultra. I'm recording this video actually with the X200 Ultra with a portrait video mode, and the next video will be finally about the iPhone 60 Pro Max and the Honor Magic 7 Pro, a much requested video by you guys. But this one will be a little bit different. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.